matchup, Aces Fever Game 1. We're not deciding the whole series right now, just Game 1.
Should we do it together?
I think we should do it together.
Okay.
Because my spidey sense are telling me they might be the same. 3, 2, 1.
Aces.
They're not going to lose after she just won MVP.
Yeah, period.
There's no way.
Okay,
I see.
The unthinkable just happened. On the very night A'ja Wilson was crowned MVP in front of her home crowd, she turned the spotlight upside down, not with her performance, but with a jaw-dropping accusation. After the Las Vegas Aces collapsed against the Indiana Fever in Game 1 of the semifinals, Wilson didn't hold back. Her words, "This game was bought."
Well, one thing is very clear about the sports world. Man, sports fans overwhelmingly, for whatever reason, and my guess would be quite a few reasons, the sports world literally cannot stand A'ja Wilson. A'ja Wilson has won yet another MVP, and sports fans have done a Dikembe Mutombo no, in regards to giving a rat's ass.
That's right. The face of the WNBA, the reigning MVP, accused referees of rigging the outcome, and in doing so, she ignited one of the biggest scandals this league has ever seen.
Money Mitch, put him in a ditch! Who on the Las Vegas Aces is going to try to stop Kelsey Mitchell? Because from what I just saw, they had no answer for her. Kirsten Bell, line right up, smacked. Jackie Young, step right up, torched. Chelsea Gray, torched. Jewel Lloyd, torched. Nobody could hang with Kelsey Mitchell as she goes off.
But here's the question. Was this just raw frustration from being shut down? Or is Wilson hinting at something much darker about how this league is run? Stick around, because what you're about to hear will leave you questioning everything about the WNBA's credibility. Let's set the scene. The Indiana Fever were never supposed to be here. They rolled into Vegas, missing 6 players. Caitlin Clark sidelined, Sophie Cunningham out, Sydney Colson gone, Ari McDonald, Chloe Beebe, and Dawana Dantas all unavailable. Analysts laughed at their chances.
Matchup, Aces Fever Game 1. We're not deciding the whole series right now, just Game 1.
Should we do it together?
I think we should do it together.
Okay.
Because my spidey sense are telling me they might be the same. 3, 2, 1.
Aces.
They're not going to lose after she just won MVP.
Yeah, period.
There's no way.
Okay, I see.
ESPN panels wrote them off before the ball even tipped. The sportsbooks, they practically begged people to bet on the Aces, expecting a clean sweep. And yet, against every odd stacked against them, the Fever stormed into Las Vegas and stunned the defending champions, 89-73.
And A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces lose Game 1 on their home court to the Indiana Fever, 89-73. The Indiana Fever were in control of this game from start to finish. There was a small little patch there in the third quarter. We started saying, are the Aces gonna come back? But Kelsey Mitchell and Odyssey Sims said no.
This was supposed to be A'ja Wilson's coronation night, championship banners hanging in the rafters, the crowd buzzing, cameras flashing as she lifted the MVP trophy. Everything pointed to Vegas dominating, but instead, the story flipped in real time. Kelsey Mitchell, a player constantly overlooked in league-wide conversations, erupted for 34 points, the highest scoring output in a Fever playoff game since 2012.
Off Mitchell, rise and fire. Good! Kelsey connects. Time out, Becky Hammond. Mitchell, MVP finalist. Uncorks, and puts it in.
She did it efficiently, relentlessly, and in every way possible. Mid-range daggers, deep threes, attacking the rim, and a flawless 6 for 6 at the free throw line. Caitlin Clark, watching injured from the sidelines, said it best with 2 simple words that went viral. Kelsey, unreal. And it wasn't just Mitchell. Aaliyah Boston went to war with Wilson in the paint, making the MVP grind for every single bucket. Lexi Hull turned Jackie Young into a non-factor. Odyssey Sims attacked like her career depended on it. Natasha Howard crashed the boards with fury, The Fever flipped the script in every single category they weren't supposed to win. By the time the final buzzer sounded, the scoreboard told a shocking story. Fever 89, Aces 73. Indiana didn't just steal Game 1, they humiliated Vegas on their own floor.
The Indiana Fever won every single quarter in this game, except for the first 3 straight quarters of scoring 20 points or more, holding the Aces to under 20 points in 4 straight quarters. The third quarter, 28 points for the Indiana Fever. It was a 3-point game. The Aces were down 9, came back in the third quarter. 3-point game. The Indiana Fever closed it out, putting our pedal to the metal, foot on the gas, extending our lead to a point where Bree Hall, yes, Bree Hall got a minute in this game.
And that's when A'ja Wilson snapped. In her post-game remarks, Wilson didn't credit the Fever, she didn't take accountability. Instead, she looked directly at the cameras and accused the referees of fixing the outcome. Her words were sharp, angry, and unforgettable. This game was bought. Think about that for a second. The league's biggest star, the reigning MVP, essentially told the world that the WNBA semifinals are rigged. And here's why it matters. The WNBA is already under a microscope. Critics constantly claim it's propped up, struggling for credibility, fighting for respect on the national stage. So when your MVP accuses referees of corruption, that doesn't just sting. It detonates a bomb inside the league's image. Fans immediately erupted online. Some defended Wilson, saying the officiating was bizarre and tilted against Vegas. Others slammed her for disrespecting the Fever's effort, arguing she used the refs as a scapegoat for being shut down by Boston's defense. But let's be real, the accusation itself is the headline. When a player of Wilson's stature uses the words, "This game was bought," she's not just venting. She's suggesting the outcome of the semifinals wasn't legitimate, and that cuts right to the core of the league's credibility. So what actually drove Wilson to explode? For one, she was frustrated. Boston's defense forced her into contested shots all night long. She still posted 16 points and 13 rebounds, but it wasn't the effortless dominance everyone expected from an MVP. Every bucket was a battle, every rebound a grind. The rhythm she thrives on just wasn't there. And while Mitchell was torching Vegas from everywhere on the floor, Wilson was forced to claw for scraps. That contrast created the perfect storm. The player being celebrated as the league's best was overshadowed by the opponent she was supposed to crush. And instead of walking out with the glory, she walked out pointing fingers. Now here's the real kicker. Wilson's accusation didn't just make headlines, it overshadowed the Fever's monumental upset. What should have been remembered as one of the greatest playoff wins in franchise history suddenly became about referees, corruption, and controversy. Mitchell's masterpiece, Boston's defense, Sims's fire, all of it buried under the weight of Wilson's words. And yet, those words aren't going away. The WNBA is now in a bind. Do they ignore Wilson's claim and hope it blows over? Or do they step in and address it head-on, risking an even bigger scandal? Either way, the damage is done. For a league trying to grow its audience, its MVP accusing referees of rigging the game is a nightmare scenario. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Wilson's frustration could actually fuel the Aces moving forward. Championship teams respond differently to adversity. The Aces know how to make adjustments. And you can bet Game 2 will be personal. Wilson hates being embarrassed. And after being silenced and overshadowed in Game 1, she'll come out swinging. Still, the Fever aren't backing down. They've found their blueprint: defense, pace, and trust in each other. And after proving they can shut down the champions on their own floor, they now head home with momentum and belief. If they win Game 2, this series could tilt completely in their favor. So here's the bottom line. A'ja Wilson may have thought her words were just a post-game vent, but she's ignited a scandal that will follow this series wherever it goes. Did she expose something real, or just let her emotions take over? That's for you to decide. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Wilson right to call out the refs, or did she cross the line by discrediting the Fever's hard-earned win? And if you're still watching, drop rigged or real in the comments so we know you're riding with us to the end. Because one thing's for sure, this series isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about pride, credibility, and the future of the WNBA.
So last night, the Fever did the impossible, and they advanced to the semifinals. And last night I said, why in the F is that security guard all up on Sophie Cunningham? And look, I think there is a reason she got up in Sophie's face. And I don't think there was any need to sort of bow up to Sophie like that.
Sophie Cunningham, wearing a bulky leg brace and nowhere near game ready, should have been celebrating her team's hard-fought playoff win. Instead, she found herself in the middle of a shocking stare-down with league security.
Make a long story short, man, we got to talk about Sophie Cunningham. So Sophie Cunningham suffered a season-ending injury, and I'm here to tell you, bro, we ain't really been making a lot of videos about Sophie. She's just been kind of behind the scenes. Well, last night she let her presence be felt, still showing that she is the enforcer of the team. I mean, standing toe-to-toe with a police officer, standing toe-to-toe, damn near about to charge at a WNBA referee. Sophie cut like that. You want to know why Sophie cut like that? Because she's from my home state. She's from Missouri. She's from the Show Me State.
And when she fired back, the WNBA was thrown into yet another storm. But here's the real question. Was this just one guard going rogue, or was it the latest sign that the league is targeting players who refuse to play by their rules?
The hate is real. The hate is real, Kathy. I see you hating on us from a mile away, Kathy Engelbert. We all see it. You out here finding the one person who's actually bringing money into this league. What a joke. You're mad that the Indiana Fever are here right now. Y'all didn't expect us to get this far. Y'all really didn't expect it. We got Sophie Cunningham exposing the whole league agenda. Exposing them. Caitlin Clark mocking them all on Twitter, all on Instagram, everywhere, because they are jokes.
The Indiana Fever had finally done it. After years of frustration, the franchise secured a playoff win that fans had been dreaming about. Lexi Hull's game-saving steal sealed the deal.
Dream 85. Howard's inbound pass stolen by Hull. Passes to Boston in the backcourt. 3 seconds ago. Sims gets it and is fouled. The Fever are up 86-85 with 1.2 left.
While Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston delivered the kind of clutch performances that make legends.
On the field, now she has second chance banked in by Alicia Gray. This is how quickly Kelsey Mitchell can get down the floor. Team from the floor in game 2. That's terrific call into Boston.
The crowd was on its feet. The team was euphoric, and for once, everything seemed right in Indianapolis. But instead of headlines about grit, resilience, and a long-awaited victory, the spotlight shifted. Cameras caught a surreal moment at midcourt. Sophie Cunningham, clearly injured, standing near her teammates, only to be aggressively approached by a league-hired security guard.
Today during the game, Odyssey Sims went down with an injury. And Sophie Cunningham, being the solid teammate that she was, Sophie, Caitlin, and Chloe, Tres Leches. We got Chloe, Caitlin, and Sophie Cunningham standing at half court, checking up on Odyssey Sims. And here comes the good old security guard. I said this during the live stream. This reminds me of Officer D from the Wayans Bros. If you know, you know. It reminds me of Officer D from the Wayans Bros. If you know, you know. Sophie Cunningham. Oh, she's standing her ground. Look at Tres Leches. They're standing their ground.
Odyssey was holding her right.
Sophie wasn't rushing the floor. She wasn't starting trouble. Yet she was barked at, as if she had stormed the court in the middle of a brawl. Fans watched in disbelief as what should have been a celebration turned into confrontation. The cameras told the story better than words.
Poor Sophie. She got the contraption on. She looks great in a ball cap. Let's just keep it real. And here we go. Right here, she's at midcourt. And then Paula Blart, mall cop. What are you doing? Well, I mean, what you doing? She got a leg brace on. For crying out loud. You come out here trying to be Brody and trying to do something, knowing damn good and well. Look at this police officer sauntering up. What the bleep are you doing?
At first, Sophie looked puzzled, then annoyed, and finally, that unmistakable Cunningham glare, the one fans know well. She didn't shout, she didn't push back physically, but her expression screamed. Really? This is what you're doing right now. Her stance was calm, but firm. She refused to be bullied, even as the guard loomed over her. That quiet defiance was enough to ignite the internet. Within minutes, clips of the stare down went viral.
She's showing concern for her teammates. Like, what is going on? Why is a police officer asking the basketball players to leave the court when they are checking on an injured teammate? Come on, man. That's the weird part. It's not like they're rowdy in some other player's face or causing commotion. They're just checking on their teammate, fam. On a dead play, dead ball.
Hashtags like Free Sophie and WNBA Exposed spread across Twitter and Instagram. Comment sections overflowed with outrage. For fans, this wasn't enforcement, it was harassment, and it fit into a bigger story they'd been noticing all season. This wasn't the first time a WNBA player had been treated differently, depending on whether they fit the league's preferred image.
Holding her right shoulder.
And they like, look, we on our side of the court. We can stand here. Like, you got to chill out, man. Kathy, get it together. Get your security together. Get your referees together. Like, get all this other stuff together, and in order, before you become so worried about fining players $200. You fine Caitlin Clark $200, man. She wipe her, you know what, with that money, man. What are we talking about? As of right now, all we see is you running around trying to find players left and right. That's all we see. That's all we see, bro. I think it's mad corny. It's ridiculous. Kathy Engelbert, you need to be fired. You need to be straight up fired. How dare you? How dare you try to find the GOAT Caitlin Clark? How dare you? She the only reason y'all even making some money nowadays. Y'all was losing $40, $50, $30 million every year. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Better stop playing games.
Caitlin Clark has been shoved, hacked, and taunted more than any rookie in memory, with refs swallowing whistles while the league shrugs. Sophie Cunningham, meanwhile, has long been cast as the villain, confident, unapologetic, outspoken, and unwilling to shrink back when critics want her silent. Fans see the double standards. When Angel Reese or Paige Buchers show fire, the media celebrates it as passion. When Sophie does the same, she's branded a problem. And now, even in a leg brace, simply waiting for her teammate at midcourt, she was treated like a threat. The contrast was too sharp to ignore, and fans didn't. Within hours, social media turned the stare down into one of the most talked about moments of the postseason. People accused the WNBA of singling Sophie out because she doesn't fit their curated narratives. Others pointed out racial and cultural double standards, asking why Sophie's leadership gets villainized while others gets praised. The league, already under fire for its inconsistent officiating, now faced accusations of targeting its own players. Some fans even demanded Commissioner Kathy Engelbert step in, calling the situation an embarrassment for a league trying to prove it's ready for mainstream respect. And through it all, Sophie didn't flinch. Instead of lashing out, Sophie handled the moment the way only she could. She stood her ground, didn't retreat, and later brushed it off with a mix of humor and quiet defiance. In one interview, she joked about sweating through her clothes from nerves, even while downplaying the confrontation. It was classic Cunningham, turning an awkward situation into fuel, showing she won't let anyone else define her story.
And I think, the league is so mad that we won because we're literally not supposed to be here at all. And that just kind of fuels our fire even more. But it was just so fun. It was one of those games that, first of all, I was sweating my ass off because I was so nervous. And I don't really get anxious about stuff. I was so anxious. I could not sit still. I was legit. I felt like I played with how much I was sweating. And so it was one of those games. It was such a good W game. It was physical. There's a lot of back and forth, a lot of great plays. But I just knew deep down in my gut that we were going to win.
Fans noticed. They flooded her socials with support, hailing her as the hero of the night. Once again, the league's attempt to diminish her only strengthened her following. But the damage was done. The Fever's win, the heroics of Lexi Hull and Kelsey Mitchell, the steady dominance of Aaliyah Boston, all of it was overshadowed by a viral clip of Sophie Cunningham staring down security. Instead of being celebrated, the league was mocked. Instead of showcasing grit and resilience, the WNBA was accused of selective enforcement and hypocrisy. And for casual fans tuning in because of Caitlin Clark's star power, the message was clear. This league can't get out of its own way. That's the bigger danger here. When fans walk away talking about Sophie versus mall cop antics instead of playoff heroics, the league loses. And if the WNBA wants growth, it cannot afford to keep losing its own biggest moments. So what do you think? Was Sophie Cunningham unfairly targeted? Or was this just one guard stepping out of line? Drop your thoughts below, because this debate isn't dying anytime soon. And if you're still watching, drop Free Sophie in the comments so we know you're part of the real Fever family.
Could Caitlin Clark actually be coming back if the Indiana Fever make the finals? And that is something that I think a lot of people are wondering. I just saw this post here. I got tagged in it by Caitlin Clark for 3, and it says, according to this, there seems to be a legitimate pathway for Caitlin Clark to be activated. If true, I would be so happy. Under the current CBA, once a team submits its playoff roster at the end of the regular season, it's essentially locked for the postseason. The league's hardship and 7-day contract rules ends when the regular season does, so a team can't sign a replacement player or pick someone up off the street once the playoffs begin. The only flexibility is if the team already has someone under contract but inactive, such as maternity leave, suspension, or on the injury list, in which case the player can be activated to replace an injured player. Otherwise, the team simply has to play shorthanded because there is no mechanism to add new players during the playoffs, with a rare league-approved exception.
Caitlin Clark has been sidelined for months, her rookie season derailed by injury. But now, in a shocking twist, the buzz inside the league is that if the Indiana Fever pull off the impossible and reach the WNBA Finals, Caitlin Clark will return to the court.
2 more wins, and the Indiana Fever is headed to the WNBA Finals. Let that sink in for a second. The Indiana Fever only need to win 2 more games, and they will be in the WNBA Finals. And they stole the first of 3 today against the Las Vegas Aces, beating them 89-73. A very convincing win for the Indiana Fever at the Aces in Las Vegas on their home court with their home referees. The Indiana Fever pulled off this victory, and I feel like I'm one of the only people, or at least aside from the mainstream media, who truly thinks that the Indiana Fever can pull this off.
That's right. The biggest name in basketball could be stepping back into the spotlight at the exact moment her team needs her most.
So today, lads, we're going to be talking about something that everyone is obviously, no one's 1,000,000% sure of, but a lot of people are like questioning when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Is like, well, what happens if the Fever, go and make the finals, and let's just say it's a 5-game series, and suddenly it's 12 days from now, you're going into October, and Caitlin's 1,000,000% going to be healthy in October.
And after what we just witnessed in Game 1 of the semifinals against the Las Vegas Aces, that possibility suddenly feels very real. The underdog Fever didn't just survive, they stunned the defending champions in their own building, sending shockwaves across the WNBA.
Night! Final score, Fever 89, Aces 73. Playing with house money, Indiana takes Game 1 of the semifinals in Vegas.
Respect everyone, fear no one.
But here's the real question. Can this team really climb all the way to the finals and set the stage for Clark's epic comeback? All season long, the Aces were treated as unbeatable. Led by MVP A'ja Wilson, they had the experience, the firepower, and the swagger.
If only one player on the court in this entire game looked like the most valuable player in the league, and it wasn't A'ja Wilson. In fact, is the Fever a better team than the Aces? I got the sense while watching this game that the Atlanta Dream was a better team than the Las Vegas Aces. I'm just keeping it real. And people forget this Aces team was a train wreck for a large part of the season. All right, then they made this late run, this late push, the very same push that got A'ja Wilson, her MVP.
Meanwhile, the Fever barely clawed their way into the postseason as the 6th seed. No one, and I mean no one, thought they could come into Vegas and take Game 1. Yet that's exactly what happened. Kelsey Mitchell lit up the scoreboard, dropping shot after shot and reminding everyone why she was a top 5 MVP finalist.
Mitchell, pulled by, and the bucket with the left hand on the right side. Mitchell's got it at the foul line. Leaner, back of the iron, bounces and goes through.
Aaliyah Boston went toe-to-toe with Wilson, forcing her into miss after miss.
I am just so impressed.
Boston just faked Wilson out of her shoes to get the basket.
And Natasha Howard dominated inside, using her strength and speed to punish the Aces in the paint.
Roll, Howard scores. Rim right, a dime from Kells. It's 23-20.
From the opening tip, the Fever looked fearless. They jumped out to a quick lead, frustrated Wilson into an 0-for-6 start, and silenced the Las Vegas crowd.
Lawson left post, and she banks it in. Bow, bow, bow to begin. 2-0 Indiana through 20 seconds. Bell passes to Howard on the baseline. Shot fake, she attacks, and Tosh puts it in off the window. 6-3 Fever. Howard gets it right wing, shovels it off. Mitchell, rise and fire. Good! Kelsey connects. Time out, Becky Hammond.
For a team that was supposed to fold under the bright lights, Indiana played with the confidence of champions, and the ripple effect was immediate. Suddenly, the impossible didn't feel so impossible anymore. Now imagine this. Indiana pulls off the series upset. They shock the basketball world and advance to the finals. And then, walking down that tunnel in her Fever jersey, comes Caitlin Clark, the same Caitlin Clark who shattered college records.
Clark races away, and the mythical mastery of Caitlin Clark continues. Iowa has conquered South Carolina.
The same Caitlin Clark who sold out arenas in her very first WNBA games. The same Caitlin Clark who's been the most talked about player in the sport, even while injured. Her return would be more than just a basketball story. It would be a ratings juggernaut. It would send ticket prices soaring. It would transform the finals into must-see television, not just for WNBA fans, but for the entire sports world. But here's where the tension rises. Clark hasn't played in months. Could she really jump into the highest stakes games of her life and deliver? Or would the pressure of a finals comeback be too much, too soon? Either way, the stage is set for a once-in-a-lifetime storyline. Let's be clear, the Fever still have a long way to go. Vegas isn't going to roll over. Wilson is a 4-time MVP for a reason, and you can bet she won't stay cold forever. Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray are proven winners who know how to respond when their backs are against the wall. But the Fever have found a formula that works. Mitchell's scoring, Boston's defense, and Howard's physicality. If those three keep playing at this level, the dream of reaching the finals is alive. And if they get there, the WNBA will face a storyline it couldn't have scripted better. Caitlin Clark returning from injury to fight for a championship in her rookie year. Think about it. The underdog Fever, written off all season, now on the doorstep of history. Clark, the face of the league, stepping back into the spotlight. The Aces, or Liberty, waiting on the other side as heavy favorites. The stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just basketball anymore. This is legacy. This is destiny. So let's bring it full circle. The Fever's shocking Game 1 win has changed everything. For the first time, Indiana looks like more than just a feel-good story. They look like a team capable of crashing the WNBA Finals. And if that happens, Caitlin Clark's return could turn the entire season upside down. Is she healthy enough? Can she handle the pressure? Those questions will dominate the headlines. But one thing is certain, if Caitlin Clark steps back onto the court in the finals, it will be the most anticipated moment in WNBA history. The Fever have given us hope. Clark has given us a reason to believe. And now, the entire basketball world is holding its breath. Will the underdogs complete the miracle? And will Caitlin Clark rise from the shadows to take back her crown? If you're still watching, drop Finals CC in the comments.
How do you even put into words what just happened? I mean, we worked so hard, and I think I'm just so proud of our group for staying with it. I mean, it's just insane that like we're playing in the semifinals. I mean, we believed it, but there's so many people out there that didn't. And so we got another series. Decided to play some more games in Cambridge, but right now we're just proud and excited, and I'm looking forward to the next step.
Indiana Fever just advanced to the WNBA semifinals for the first time in nearly a decade, and it all came down to Lexi Hull crushing the Atlanta Dream in a jaw-dropping finish.
Oh my God, I'm nervous. Ryan Howard. And she passed. Lexi with the game-winning stop. Lexi with the game-winning stop. Elton!
But here's the real question. How did a team missing 6 players, haunted by officiating controversies, and written off by almost everyone, manage to deliver the most dramatic win of the season? Let's set the stage.
Well, Stephanie White goes 44 regular season games, failing to give us a comeback victory, only to wait for when it mattered the most as the Indiana Fever come back late in the fourth quarter and defeat the Atlanta Dream. We are moving on to the semifinals. We are either facing the Aces or the Storm. Storm would be a phenomenal matchup for this Indiana Fever team. We have their number this season. Aaliyah Boston came through when she needed to. Odyssey Sims passed the ball when she needed to. Natasha Howard in double digits. Lexi Hull showing up to the party. Money Mitch.
Nearly 10 years had passed since the Indiana Fever last won a playoff series. Back then, Tamika Catchings was still the franchise's heartbeat. Natasha Howard was just starting her career, and Stephanie White was in her first stint as head coach. That was 2015. Since then, the Fever endured years of frustration, empty seats, and heartbreak. This Game 3 wasn't just about basketball, it was about breaking a curse. And the odds couldn't have been worse. Caitlin Clark sidelined, Sophie Cunningham out, Sydney Colson unavailable, multiple others injured, 6 players down in total. No one outside the locker room gave them a chance. But instead of collapsing under the weight of bad luck and pressure, the Fever turned that into fuel. They had nothing to lose, and that desperation became their weapon. It showed right from the opening tip. Kelsey Mitchell carried the offense like a player possessed. Every time Atlanta tried to cut her off, she found a way through.
The field. Now she has. Second chance banked in by Alicia Gray. This is how quickly Kelsey Mitchell can get down the floor.
24 points on the night, 19 of them before halftime. She was the steady heartbeat that refused to stop. When defenders swarmed her lanes, she adjusted, dropping assists, blocks, and hustle plays that kept Indiana alive. Then there was Aaliyah Boston, the rising star who anchored the paint like she was born for it.
Team from the floor in Game 2. That's terrific call into Boston.
Matched against Bree Jones, she took hit after hit, yet never lost her composure. 14 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. But the numbers don't capture how she controlled the game.
It really looked like both players took each other out.
Inside, Boston. The pass from Howard.
Every rebound was in traffic. Every assist came under pressure. Every possession she battled felt like an act of defiance.
Maybe a little higher than that, 45.
Boston turns. Well defended, but 3 red jerseys around her, and Aaliyah still finishes.
Natasha Howard chipped in with relentless hustle, saving possessions that should have belonged to the Dream.
Dribbles behind the line to take the 3. Howard with the one-handed rebound and putback.
Oh my goodness. I mean, watch this rebound come off under your screen. Jordan Canada's arm.
Odyssey Sims added the fire, attacking defenders head-on, pouring in 16 points and 8 assists. A player who hadn't been with the roster all season suddenly looked like she'd been their leader all along.
As Howard could not get it to grow. Odyssey Sims, this is what head coach Stephanie White wants from Odyssey.
And it wasn't just the stars. Brianna Turner stepped in, blocking shots and locking down lanes.
It's a bucket. They look to her, and she's wanting the ball as well with the last 4 for Atlanta.
Aerial Powers, even in limited minutes, sparked life into the lineup with her energy and grit.
Big block by Powers.
Good help side by Aerial Powers.
This wasn't a one-woman show. It was an army of role players refusing to fold. Still, the Dream pushed back. Gateway Center Arena was deafening, with nearly 4,000 fans roaring. waiting for Indiana's collapse. Every possession felt heavier, every whistle stung deeper, especially after the frustrations of Game 1, where bad calls and technicals had tilted the scales. That bitterness carried into this night, fueling the fever. And through it all, one player was quietly battling her own nightmare, Lexi Hull. All night, shot after shot rimmed out. Open looks wouldn't drop. Her rhythm disappeared, replaced by visible frustration. For a shooter who thrives on spacing the floor, it was agony. But here's where the story flipped. With under 30 seconds left, trailing by 1, Kelsey Mitchell slashed to the hoop with her signature burst, laying it in off a feed from Boston. The game tightened, the tension spiked, and Indiana clung to life.
Boston for the lead. She hits it. Indiana goes up.
Boston gets it. Mitchell is denied, but then Jordan Canada falls. Bree Jones almost gets it, but that's the second defender that's gone down in Bree Jones.
Moments later, the ball swung to Hull, the same Hull who hadn't been able to buy a basket all night. She rose, released, and buried the three. Redemption in a single shot.
It has worked for Kelsey Mitchell, but that time she gives it up to Hull. And how about that shot by Lexi Hull?
But the drama wasn't done. 7 seconds remained. Atlanta had the ball, their season on the line. Everyone expected a clean inbound and one last chance to win. But Hull read it differently. Eyes locked, instincts sharp, she lunged forward, intercepting the pass with a game-saving steal. That single play didn't just end the game, it ended a decade of waiting.
Dream 85. Howard's inbound pass stolen by Hull. Passes to Boston in the backcourt. 3 seconds to go. Sims gets it and is fouled. The Fever are up 86-85 with 1.2 left.
The Indiana Fever were finally heading back to the semifinals. When the buzzer sounded, chaos turned to joy. 10 years of scars and silence snapped in half. Kelsey Mitchell hugged her teammates, tears of relief and pride in her eyes. Aaliyah Boston sat quietly, overwhelmed, the weight of history crashing over her. And Lexi Hull, the player who struggled all night but delivered the winning shot and steal, clutched the game ball like it was gold. Even Caitlin Clark, forced to watch in street clothes, couldn't contain her emotions. She waved towels, shouted encouragement, and after the game posted in all caps, "Fever Show." Injured or not, she was still part of this fight. Head coach Stephanie White gathered her team, reminding them that this was only step one. Waiting for them is the Las Vegas Aces, the defending champions, stacked with Aja Wilson, Chelsea Gray, and Jackie Young. Becky Hammon even issued a warning. You haven't seen the real Aces yet.
Dropped 2 of the 3 games to them this year, but you haven't seen them since late July. What excites you about that matchup?
That they haven't seen the real Aces yet. They caught us when we were a bit in turmoil. Not only that, they whooped us one of those stretches. So, you know what, we'll buckle in, hone in where we can, and take care of business. But I know everybody's super excited about tonight, which I am too, but like I gotta get our hard hats on and get these guys prepped and ready for what's coming next.
That's the mountain the Fever now face. But on this night, none of that mattered. This win wasn't about advanced stats or scouting reports. It was about heart. About 6 players being out, bad officiating still fresh in their minds, and a franchise carrying a decade-long drought. It was about resilience. And when the moment demanded a hero, Lexi Hull answered. So here's the big question. Is this just the start of a Cinderella run, or will the Las Vegas Aces remind the Fever just how tough championship basketball can be? Let us know in the comments how proud you are of this team. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next chapter of this incredible journey.